How are you guys? Good to be here. It's been such an eventful day for me. I hope it was for you too. Okay, so definitely something is certain now, and what is certain is that we will show up every day, no matter what, no matter how busy we get, no matter what else is demanding for our time or commitments, we will make sure that we show up. Yesterday, I spoke about the game of experience. It's all about the game of experience yesterday, and I was able to explain some very deep lessons concerning what experience truly means. And I told you that there is an angle where people tell you that you could or you should, learn from other people. And those are very, very valid points, okay? But I also try to emphasize to you the place of your doing. Thank you very much, Sam Harvard. We have to make sure that we show up every day. We have to make sure that we show up every day. Interesting stuff. Sam Harvard. Oh God. We thank God. We thank God for everything. Jẹ́ ká máa fi ọpẹ́ fún Olúwa. Ben. Skill Script, you're welcome. Good to have you. Good to have you. So good to have you. Sure bankers advice. Okay, so the night crawlers are here. Good to have you guys. Good to have you guys. So yesterday I discussed about the game of experience when it comes with money. And I explained extensively that good experience comes from both what you do and what other people tell you. Official Annie, how do you do? Night crawlers everywhere. Okay? And I explained that it's good to learn from people, but there are things that you cannot learn from people. And they usually form one of the most important things in your life. I explained to you that the way you worked was not that your father or your mother sat you down and told you about how to work. You worked because there was a particular instinct right inside you that told you, even as a child, that you are supposed to work. I explained to you that it is this instinct that makes human beings to cage lions. Lions that were born in captivity, lions that were never in the jungle, lions that you did not capture in the jungle, lion that is 4 generations of lions that gave birth to it. You still cage it. The lion has never been in the wild, never seen anybody hunt anything, but you still cage lion because you understand that the lion has what you call the predator instinct, which means that this lion cannot allow to roam about because one day the lion will just kill something or somebody. That's the same thing that applied to a child. That is why the child walked. That's why you walked as a child, because there was just an instinct that kept telling you that you are meant to walk. Nobody can count the number of times that the child falls down before the child walks. Why does the child get up every time? After falling, the child will rest, and then the child will get back up and continue to make attempts to walk. Why does that happen? That happens because the child knows somewhere deep inside of the child that the child was meant to walk, and then the way to walk is to walk. The way to learn how to walk is to walk. It's just like that. It is a simple truth that people lose as they grow up, because as you start to grow up, you start becoming afraid of failures. You don't want to try things because you're afraid that you might fail. You don't want to try things because you're thinking, what if I fail? And then when you try something and you fail 3 times, you conclude that, oh God, if I can fail in these 3 things 3 times, that means I'm not meant to do this. You didn't think like that. You didn't think like that as a child. You did not. What you did as a child was that you kept at it. And I explained yesterday that that is what experience means. That you can read about how to swim, but the way to learn about how to swim is to swim. You swim so that you can learn how to swim. You walk so that you can learn how to walk. You do all of these things is just the way that it is. Absolutely no problem about that. What you need to learn is that anything that you want to do, you just have to do them. And that is the place of experience that nobody can give to you. Nobody can give you such experience. Nobody can tell you. If your dad or anybody were to tell you about how to swim, you will still have to get inside water to swim. You still have to get inside water to swim. There is no two ways about it. I explained that to you categorically. And that is very, 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 very cogent in all of the things that you need to learn. Some of the things that you need to learn. All right. Now, what I want to discuss today is the game of giving. I didn't want to discuss this at all, but I felt that there's no way that I would not discuss this, because it's very, very important, because you need to understand it. Because some people are selfish, some people are generous. Okay? Some people are naturally selfish, some people are naturally generous. Okay? And then people can't tell whether it pays to be generous or whether it pays to be selfish, especially when the fact is that people will always ask you for things. People will always ask you for things. So even if you are generous, people will ask you. If you are selfish, people will still ask you. So sometimes you don't have enough, so you don't give, and things like that. I want to explain what this could mean for everybody. And when I say everybody, I mean people who want to self-actualize, people who want to become everything that they could possibly become. Now, I don't know if you ever watched this movie called The Men Who Built America. Anyway, it's a documentary movie about the Industrial Revolution in America, when people like Rockefeller, J.P. Morgan, Dale Carnegie, and some other guys, Thomas Edison, and then Nikola Tesla, okay? When these guys were at the forefront of the Industrial Revolution, after a while, they realized that they had so much money, and then it became a question of giving it out. If you have ever read books, they will tell you what the journey of entrepreneur is. It always ends with giving back, giving back. That's why you find Tomi Sioyekon, you're welcome, good to have you. That's why you find people like Tony Elumelu having the Tony Elumelu Foundation giving grants to young people to do business or to build businesses. That's why you find Jimovia doing things across the world. That's how you see this foundation, that foundation, Simon Gift, you're welcome. Because people who have amassed money always find out eventually that the end game of it all is to give it back. That the end game is to give it back. Now, some of these people took 35 years, 40 years to build big business empires. And then after they've built the empire, they started to give money. You've heard about the Bill Gates Foundation. You've had plenty foundation everywhere. People who have money always have foundation by which they give the money out. Philanthropies, they say this person is a philanthropist and all of that. The reason they do that is a bit obscure, because not something that most people don't write about it. Okay. Now I am going to explain to you, and my point here is not even that I'm only going to explain to you. Is the fact that I want you to see that if a person builds wealth for 30 years and the person realizes that what the person needs to now start to do after building the wealth is to give it away, that should tell you that if somebody had wisdom to build a $1 billion business, and then the person after using it's not a way to make more money back, sir. It's people think that it's a way to avoid tax. People think it's a way to avoid tax. But the idea is that you have 10 naira. Why don't you give all your 10 naira away, for example, and make more money back? So people say it's a way to make more money back. It's not a way to make more money back. Now, if you had wisdom to build $1 billion business. And then after applying the wisdom to build $1 billion business, the next thing that you now did was to start giving it away. That should tell you that there is a superior wisdom. Okay, because if you had wisdom to build $1 billion business and then you start giving the money away, that means that you are doing something better than you did before. Okay, so the thing that is better than building a multi-billion-dollar business is to give it away. Okay, now I want to show you something, and it's very, very important. You need to pay attention to this now. Okay, you need to pay attention to this. Okay, so I remember that I once told you that the way it works is that you will always have gifts. You will always have gifts in the essence of maybe your relationship, maybe talents, things that you are good at, maybe physical gifts, maybe you had rich parents, gifts like relationship, people could give you things, people you could leverage on, connections. Sometimes people just like you and things like that. So as it goes, you will always have things. Okay? Now, you can decide how you want to use the things that you have, and you can decide to keep the things that you have to yourself. Keeping the things that you have to yourself will always be small, or will always make you small, because every time that you make yourself the focus of anything that you want to do, the idea is that you are going to be a small person because you are too small for yourself to focus on. Okay? It's just like that. It is just like that. There is no way to look at it. People who focus on themselves never ever really become big, because at the end of the day, when you are even building big business, they will tell you that your business has to have a soul. They will tell you that there has to be something that your business wants to do other than make profit. That is why even when it comes to marketing, there is no way that you can market your product by focusing on your product. So you can never find Coca-Cola, for example, advertise Coca-Cola as come and buy water and sugar that has carbon dioxide. And sugar is just good for your body, but don't buy too much of it. No, they won't sell Coke for you like that. They will sell Coke for you as a bottle of happiness. They will sell Coke for you as a completion of enjoyment. They will tell you that, so if you have fried rice and chicken, it's better for you to have a Coke with it so that it can be complete. If you have amala and gbegiri and ewedu and ogufe, you must have a Coke bottle with it so that it can be complete. If you have been following Pepsi, you see how Pepsi is advertised with greatness. So if for you to be at the top of your career, or for you to get to the zenith, you have to be drinking Pepsi. Okay, so that should tell you that even in business, even people who are selfish, because business are expected to be selfish because the idea is that you're supposed to make money with business. Even when it comes to their advertising, when it comes to their marketing, they realize that it will not sell if it centers around the product. So the way they sell it is to center it around other people, to center it around other things, especially things that things that ordinarily, look, let's face it. We should every time you see Coca-Cola advert, you should shout at them and say, you people are mad. Why are you lying to me? Coke does not make me happy. Coke does not make anybody happy. Have you ever seen anybody that Coke made happy? No way. Coke does not make anybody happy. But they sell it as a bottle of happiness, share love, share happiness, and people buy it all the time. So my point is, don't make the mistake of focusing on yourself. If you focus on yourself, that's a small thing. That's a sure way to fail. Okay? Now, the way you don't focus on yourself starts with being generous. And I will explain what it does for you. Okay? So, everybody, there is plenty of religion. There is Buddhism, there's Judaism, there's Christianity, there is Islam, and then there's plenty of traditional religion across Africa. Have you ever stopped to wonder that there is no religion that does not talk about karma, compensation? What you sow is what you reap. Whatever you do, cause and effect. There is plenty of English for that thing. But the whole idea is that every time you see Wale means 678, you're welcome. Every time you see something that everybody agrees on, you have to pay attention. You have to pay attention. So if all religions agree that there's something called karma, there's a law of sowing and reaping, that you get back what you give, there is karma, that there is cause and effects, then that means you should pay attention. Which means that, for example, when you give is a cause. So what happens to you? Because I want to explain to you some of the things that people don't realize. Okay? Now, have you ever had the term there's no army that is as strong as an idea whose time has come? Okay? Have you ever sat down and wondered, why didn't the idea of Facebook occur to me? Have you ever wondered, why am I not the one who thought about Twitter? Have you ever wondered, okay, so I could not even think about Instagram? Have you ever wondered why you seem not to have any business idea? Like, why didn't you have any big business idea? I've explained certain things that make certain things work, but I'm focusing on the concept of idea, and I'm going to relate it to giving because I want to show you something. I want to show you something very, very important tonight. Now, when you give, whether you give money or you give time, when you give to people around you, I'm not talking about people that you owe. Do you understand? I'm not talking about people maybe for the function of duty. I'm saying that when you give people who you don't have to give things to, when you make it an habitual thing to give people, when you are generous, when you just always open your heart, open your hands out to give to people, this is what you are doing. What you are doing is that you are causing an imbalance in the universe. You are causing an imbalance in space. You are causing an imbalance in space and time. Okay? Because the way it is, what is yours is supposed to be yours. So when you give things out, you cause imbalance. Okay? Now, ordinarily, people are creatures of will. Please pay attention. I need you to understand this thing tonight. People are creatures of will, which means that it is not possible to force anybody to do anything under normal circumstances. No gun to your head, no threat to your life, no fear of anything. It is difficult to make people do what they don't want to do. That is why, for example, you even have marketing. That's why they bombard you with images, because they need to compel you to do something. Ordinarily, if they don't advertise Coke, you're not going to buy Coke. They have to work on you before you do it. So human beings are creatures of will, which means that every time you give, when you give something like this, when you give money, for example, cause and effect means that as you are giving somebody something, ordinarily what should happen to you is that somebody else is supposed to be giving you something back immediately. Or, I give like this and then somebody gives back. That's how it balances. Because when you press a weight down here, something goes up there. Okay? When you blow like this, something moves. When you shoot a gun, there's the bullet goes forward and then there's a recoil on the gun. If you throw a stone into a water, it pushes ripple. So there's always cause and effect. Every time, cause and effect. Cause and effect. If you watch something and you throw it down and it goes, you feel lighter, and then the other place feels weightier. So naturally, that's cause and effect. When opposite action to reaction, this to that, and so on and so forth. If you mix hot water with cold water, it balances out. If you touch something hot, you get hot, and that thing gets cold. That's the way it's supposed to be. So it means that when you give, you're supposed to receive. But this is humans. Humans are the most dynamic, most difficult of all creation. So when I give to people, what should happen is that somebody else should give to me. But it is difficult for the universe itself to compel people to do things. People only do what they want to do or what they feel good about. So when you give, the things that happen to you is that two things happen to you when you give. One, you build an energy around you that wants to receive. That means that you create a vacuum around yourself to receive. Which means that when you give, you increase the propensity of people to give to you. But that's not even where I'm going. I'm more particular about the second one I'm about to tell you. When you give, the universe begins to rally around to give back to you. When you give, the universe begins to rally around to give back to you. The universe find out that they cannot compel human beings to give you, and of course they cannot compel animals to give you because animals don't even have money. But the universe has to give something back to you. The universe has to give something back to you. So what happens to you when you give? Why are generous people most likely to succeed? Why? Why are generous people most likely to find favor? Why? Why do you think generous people most likely will always do better? Why do you think that happens? Why do you think generous people are happier than people who are selfish? Why do you think generous people live longer than people who are selfish? Why do you think that some people don't have heart attacks like some people have heart attacks and all of that? Why do you think generous people always look finer and better and some people always look mean and ugly and unhappy? Why? One of the things that happened when you give is that as the universe begins to rally around to send you things, to give you things, one of the things that the universe first does to you is that the universe sends you ideas. I'm using the word universe. I would have preferred to use the word God, but I'm saying that so that you can understand that it's a universal principle. God does not come out, God does not look around and say, who just gave now? Who just gave now? Oh yeah, take something. God is a systemic somebody. God builds system. That is why I always advocate for people to learn how to build system. Learn how to build system. Learn how to build things that work without you being there. So one of the things that happens is that when you give something tangible, the universe tries to give you something back, but the universe is unable to give you something tangible. Okay, so the universe gives you things that are intangible. One of the things that you get, that you'll be getting lots of, is ideas. If you ever know anybody that is always having ideas on how to solve problems, ideas on how to create things that was not created before, ideas on how to innovate, ideas on how to enjoy life, ideas on everything, go and check that person. That person is a generous person. Now, bearing all unforeseen circumstances and other factors, a person who has idea already has an edge over somebody who has no idea. You remember the other day when I was talking about imagination, I was trying to explain to you that, whether you like it or not, imagination is very, very important. Now, you can decide to imagine, but ideas are also very, very beautiful because it just comes as a gift. Having an idea is not about something that you thought about or something that you think about. It's just a gift. Something already prepared, given to you. And whether you like it or not, if you have the strong desire to succeed, if you have the drive to succeed, that is when you understand the value of ideas. Why do you think big corporations are always afraid of young people? Why? Why do you think? Because they understand that one idea that they've never seen can finish the whole of their industry. Whether you like it or not, the theater industry, the movie industry has to respect Netflix. Whether you like it or not, Netflix is everywhere. Something that started as a simple idea. Facebook had to buy Instagram. When Facebook bought Instagram, Instagram had only 13 employees and it was bought for $1 billion. Facebook had to even buy Instagram. Facebook had to buy WhatsApp for $19 billion. What is WhatsApp? WhatsApp is just somebody's idea. So when you give, you are exposing yourself to ideas. You may not know the value of ideas now, maybe because you are too preoccupied with maybe studies, maybe work, maybe But ask your parents, you're welcome. Ask your parents who have retired. Ask them for the value of ideas. They will tell you. People have gratuity or pension, millions and millions in the bank account. They are looking for what to do with it. What do you think they are looking for? They are looking for ideas. When you have a problem somewhere, They don't give it to just anybody. They try to look for somebody who has ideas about how this thing will be solved. There's nobody that will lead a great life that will not either have ideas or have people around him who have beautiful ideas. Everybody respects Indomie noodles. People are studying how Indomie as a noodles company has been able to capture and maintain and sustain their market in Nigeria. But one thing that anybody cannot take away from noodles is that noodles, they are always creative. It always shows as if they have ideas from their hearts to their product. Ideas. So every time you feel that you are running out of ideas, check yourself. It means that you have not been generous enough. It means that you have been selfish. I'm not saying don't take care of yourself. I'm saying make it an habit to give. Give for no reason. That way you are engineering the universe to owe you, and the universe is going to be unable to owe you, because when you give, you have created a vacuum. Something has left you. It has to be filled back. If the universe is unable to compel people to give to you, whereas I was going to even come to the point where I was going to tell you that, you see, people will even give you. When you give people money, you will receive it. But it may take a while. But one of the things that does not take long for you to start experiencing when you give people consistently is that you will be having wonderful ideas. Trust me. People make millions and millions. I have made a lot of money from ideas, simple ideas. Of course, it comes with the necessity for you to execute, because you see, ideas are important, but executing is also very important, because there's no need for ideas if you won't execute. So people stop giving because they feel that they are not getting. Have you ever felt like, I'm just giving, it's not like I'm not getting any back? You've been getting ideas, but you are the one who has not been working on the ideas. You have not been executing those ideas. That is the challenge here. So what you must learn to do is that you must understand that when you give, what will naturally happen to you is that you're going to get a lot of ideas. Please learn how to execute ideas. Worst case scenario, learn how to sell ideas. Because giving is good. When you become a billionaire, that is what you are going to do. When you retire, that's what you are going to do. So how can you ignore something that you are going to do eventually? Which means that you need to learn how to give. It's important for your life. It's important for your fulfillment. Your body feels good when you give. It helps your mind. It helps your mental space. It helps you to produce energy that is sweet so that people will feel like helping you. It is good for you to give. It is something that you will still do with your life. Except you don't make the millions, except you don't make the billions. You will have foundation. You will do great things. You will give bushes or villages light, electricity. You will sponsor electricity for villages. You sponsor water project for villages. You sponsor health project for villages. You are going to build massive hospitals. You are going to have a cancer foundation. You are going to have school feeding programs. You have to do a lot of things. You have to learn how to do it now. The trick here is that when you learn how to do it now, that is how you are going to be exposed to the kind of ideas that will give you the kind of money so that you can give bigger. That's why they say that if you can't give when you have small, you won't be able to give when you have big. It's not because you won't have big, it's because giving when you are small exposes you to the ideas that will make you big. So people who don't give when they have small are not likely to have big. So there is no even a question of them giving when they have big. The task today is simple. This is the month of August. Make a list of things that you are going to give. You can start with your wardrobe. Anything that you have not worn in the last 6 months, you don't need it. Go and give it out. Anything that you have not used in the last 6 months, you don't need it. Go and give it out. Whatever it is, anything that you have not used in the last 6 months, you don't need them. If you have survived without them the last 6 months, you will survive 77 years without them. That's the truth. Give people money. Help people. Tip waiters. Tip people. Just be nice. Make somebody happy. Just surprise people. Give strangers, people that you don't know. Give them money. Give them things. Smile. Smile. Give your smile. Give yourself. Do stuff. And that's your task. That's what you should do. Decide that you will give. Check the things that you have not used in the last 6 months. Give it out. Give it out. Give it out. I'm telling you, you should try it. People are afraid. People are afraid that if they give, something bad is going to happen to them. Nothing bad will happen to you. I'm telling you, nothing bad will happen to you. If you give, you'll be exposing yourself to levels that you know that the things that you don't know, you don't know it. Okay? The things that has never occurred to you before has never occurred to you, so you have no idea that they exist. Giving is how you move yourself to realms of ideas. I'm telling you, giving is how you shift. Giving is how you help your mind to attain freedom, the kind of freedom that helps a man to get stupendously rich. Is a mental freedom. I don't want to overflog the matter. I'm sure you get the point now. Thank you for being part of the live this evening. It was good to have you. Please give more. Bye.